Are you looking for effective ways to measure and improve your bot's performance in ManyChat? Here are my top 3 ways to do just that. Number 1, use conversion events. Conversion events are something that can be added into your flows every time a user takes a step or performs an action within your flows that matters to you and your business. So in terms of a lead generation campaign, this could simply be whenever a user gives you their email. So let's take a look at how to do that now. So here I am in ManyChat, and as you can see, I have a step here where I'm asking my user for their email. Now, every time I collect an email, I want to count that towards my cost per lead calculation. And so this is a conversion event that I want to be able to track. And so all I have to do here is create an action step at action on reply, where I'm asking for the email, and log that conversion event. Now, keep in mind that ManyChat has its own conversion events, which are system conversion events, and then there are custom conversion events that you can create depending on what kind of actions and events that you'd like to track. So although ManyChat does have its own system conversion event for collecting emails as well, I want to be able to track this email collection at different points of my flows, especially if I have multiple lead generation campaigns running and I want to track them all differently to really understand which of my campaigns are doing well. Well, this is how I would do it. So I would create a separate conversion event for each of these email collection steps in each of my different campaigns or each of my different flows. So here all I would say is add an action, log conversion event. As you can see, you will need a pro account to do this, and then you just select the conversion event. So in my case, I have created one that says lead email. You can see I also have one that says lead email phone, because after I ask for email, I do ask for phone in some of my campaigns as well. And so if they give me both, I want to track them as lead email phone in my case. And you can track a lot of different conversion events this way. So in this one, I would actually go back and track the lead email instead of the lead email phone. Now this is a new account that I just created and a new conversion event that I just created right before this video. So I'm going to show you where you can track these in ManyChat, but you'll see that there isn't actually any data here just yet, but I can still show you where you could go and track these once you set them up for yourself. So if you go into your home tab and go to metrics, you can scroll down to where it says conversion events. And this is where you can actually change the conversion event that you're looking to track. So in our case, we set up lead email, so I'm going to select that one. And you can change the date range here, which is something I really love about tracking conversion events, because if you're using ManyChat's default metrics in your flows to show you how many people have clicked, how many people have taken an action, or given you their email even, it doesn't allow you to change the date range. And so when you're looking at your campaigns on Facebook and wanting to compare based on your ad spend for a certain time period, this is where it gets really powerful, and you know that your numbers are actually pretty accurate if you do it this way. So let's say these are the dates that I have in my ad account on Facebook, and that's what I'm looking at. So I can put the same date range in here. And then, like I said, there's no data for this just yet, but this is where it will show up. Now, in here, you can see that there are also some system events. These are what come by default in ManyChat, where if you collect a payment, it will log it as a system event for payment complete, email collected, and phone collected. But again, I do highly recommend using your own custom conversion events so you can track these events separately for each of your separate flows and campaigns. Okay, number 2, split test. Split testing is a good idea whether you're doing it for ads, whether you're doing it for your funnels, and the same applies for your bot. And now what I mean by that is when you go back into your flow, what you can actually do is split test any specific step, not necessarily a whole flow, but you can actually split test different kinds of messaging, different kinds of images, pretty much anything you'd like to. So let me show you how to do that as well. So back in the example of the message where we ask our users to share their email with us, let's say we want to test 2 different kinds of messaging to see which one works better in getting our users to share their email with us. And in this case, you might also want to consider using different conversion events if you'd like to get that granular with your tracking to see which one is really working better than the other. So in this case, I just grab this node here and I attach it to a randomizer. Now here I can say maybe I want 50% of my users to go to this message, and let's say I want to duplicate this block. I'm going to drag it up over here, and then let's say I want to change this and say maybe give them an incentive. Let's say, oops, would you like us to send you special deals, oops, in your inbox? If so, please confirm your email below, right? So maybe we want to see if this kind of messaging works better. So in this case, I can simply drag the first node in the randomizer to this one. And now what it's going to do is simply direct half of my traffic to the first message and half of my traffic to the second message. Now, a few more things to be aware of with the randomizer option is you have a few different things you can do here. You can change if you don't want to split your traffic half and half. Maybe you want to do 60-40. You can do that here. I can say 60 and 40. That wouldn't really be a really good split test for most cases, but if you have the right use case for it, that's something that you can do. And if you have this checked on, by default, it is checked off for a reason. So it says random path every time. So for the same user, if they've been through your flow before, the same flow, and let's say they were directed to option A. Now the next time they come through your flow, would you like to randomize it for them again and maybe give them the option to go to B? Or would you like them to always have option A because they are a user that first got directed to option A, and we don't want to confuse our data because now we don't know if a person has gotten A or B. But the basic idea is if the same user were to go through your flow more than once, would you want them to get the same option every time? Or would you want them to have a randomized option available to them the next time they go through your flow? And number 3 is to use omnichannel marketing. Now you might be asking yourself, what is omnichannel marketing? You've probably heard people saying this and talking about this quite a bit. It is becoming a bit of a buzzword, but all it really means is diversifying the channels you use to reach your audience. Now that can be advertising on different platforms like Facebook and Instagram, but also YouTube and Google and Pinterest and LinkedIn, even TikTok, right? We have so many ad platforms. You don't have to use all of them. Be strategic about which ones you're using based on where your audience is, first of all, and also which platforms can work together so that one can be for your cold targeting, another can be for your retargeting. So there are different strategies that you can use when using different platforms. But apart from just advertising on different platforms, you might also want to consider reaching your audience not just through ads, but also through email campaigns, SMS campaigns. If you're on Facebook Messenger, well, ManyChat is now going to be releasing Instagram DMs and also automations for WhatsApp in the future if you're in a location where your audience uses that app. So you have a lot of different things under the ManyChat roof, and what that means is back in ManyChat, if you go into your broadcasting tab and create a new broadcast, as you can see, the SMS, email, and multiple channels option are for pro users only, but let's go ahead and click on a multiple channel. And keep in mind that when you're using Messenger broadcasts, you have to be really careful about the message types that you're using. Otherwise, Facebook can flag your account or even shut you down, which is not something you want to deal with. But you have a lot more flexibility when you're sending out messages via SMS or email, which is another really strong reason why you should definitely be using those channels as well. And Instagram DM when that comes out. So when you say all channels, this is what you get. You get the messaging window because we haven't specified a message type for this. So if you're using OTNs or something else, you'll want to specify that here and change the condition as well. But by default, it is looking for people who have interacted with your bot and your page in Messenger within the last 24 hours so that you can stay compliant with Facebook's 24-hour rule. So that's by default, but if you want to go in here and add any more conditions, like let's say you only want to send these out to people who have a certain tag, this is where you can add them in. Just make sure that you have these set to all versus any, because all means they need to match all of the conditions that you have listed out here before it will send to them. If you have this set to any, if a user matches any one of these conditions, they will still get the message. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, for email and SMS, you'll see that it's a lot more simple. And so as long as we have a user's email and we've opted them in for email, so definitely make sure that in your flows, whenever you're collecting a user's email, in the same action block, you also want to set a separate action saying not just save their email to the system field or your custom field, but also remember to opt them in. That's a separate action, so you definitely want to remember to do that. So as long as they're opted in for email and their email has any value, we can send them an email. And same for SMS, as long as we have their phone number and they've opted in for SMS, which is again something that you can do from within your flows in your action blocks, then we can send them an SMS. So it's really simple. You don't have to get stressed out about Facebook's Messenger tag rules with email and SMS. So definitely take advantage of that. Use as many different channels as you can and that makes sense for your business, and leverage the power of omnichannel marketing this way. I hope that was helpful, and as always, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions for me or ideas or suggestions or requests for future trainings, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching and have a great one. Bye.